everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this look that I'm creating today for you is one that was requested by so many of you. It's actually the look that I did on TANYA BURR on the last day of the Daily Mixed Beauty Bootcamp challenge. So if you'd love to see how I created this look, then please keep watching. I'm starting with Urban Decay Primer Potion just over my eyelids. I didn't actually use this on TANYA. I didn't use any type of primer because we weren't really provided with one, but I tend to need it over my eyes, so that's why I'm putting it on. I've got Topshop Smoky Eye Palette Golden Aura, and I'm going to use that shade on my Real Techniques Domed Shadow Brush, and I'm just taking that literally all over the lid. I also use Topshop's Eye Palette in Nebula, and I've got this shade here, and with the same brush, it's a lovely golden sort of green shadow, I went over it. And this I had to use quite a lot of to really get the colour out on top of the shade that I've already used. I really wanted to get like a shiny, shimmery eye, something quite glamorous because it was a glamour look. And also trying to achieve something quite classic at the same time. I've got my Illamasqua neutral palette, and I'm using this shade here on my Louise Young LY38A brush. And with this, I just took this in the crease and on the outer V, just to get a bit of definition, bring some warmth to the look as well. I'm just going to use my MAC 224 blending brush now to just blend out the edge there, soften it up a little bit. I've gone back to this palette now, and I'm going to use the black and a Real Techniques brow brush, because you can use any angled brush really. And what I did is I just pressed closely to the lash line. This is to act as a sort of eyeliner, but I didn't want to actually put eyeliner on TANYA that day because she had hay fever and her eyes were feeling really irritated, and I know, as someone with hay fever myself, I don't really like putting any eye makeup on days like that, so it's quite nice of her to let me even go ahead with any of it, to be honest. You want this to be quite smoky, so obviously it doesn't need to be too neat, and it can be brushed up a teeny bit. You just want to run your brush that you was using earlier in the crease just through the black to soften it a bit and to just smoke it out. Going back to my Topshop Smoky Eye palette, I've got this colour for the brow bone highlighting colour, and I've got my Real Techniques shading brush. It's a nice light pinky-ish tone. Really like it. Moving on to the skin, I've got Hourglass Primer Serum number 28. This is actually what I used on TANYA as well. It's a lovely, lovely feel to this. And it smells good too. For foundation, I've got my Nars Sheer Glow, which I actually did use on TANYA as well. My shade is Barcelona, and I used Punjab on TANYA. I'm applying this with my Expert Face brush. Now this shade might be a little bit too light for me now, because it was a winter shade, and I've tanned slightly since then. This brush is really good for buffing the foundation into your skin. I've got to take this down my neck slightly because it is slightly the wrong shade. For Tanya's brows, I used the Anastasia Brow Pro Palette, and I used the shade Ebony there, but more so of the lighter one than the dark one. But I was just mixing the two, so I'm going to use this on myself, but I'm going to use obviously the darker shade because I've got darker brows. I'm just going to use an angled brush for this, and a little bit of this really does go a long way. I haven't actually used this on myself before. Wow. This is good. And to set her brows, I used Illamasqua's Brow and Lash Gel, which, as some of you may know from my other tutorials, I actually already have this and I love it. So I was super happy to be using it on Tanya, and it was a product that I was already very familiar with, so that was nice. We weren't really given under eye concealer, so I had to make do with what I had. And for Tanya, I used Rimmel Match Perfection in number 10 Light Porcelain as an under eye concealer. And to set that, I used Rimmel's Stay Matte Powder in number 4 Sandstorm, because it's got a nice yellow tint to it. So it's a nice setting powder, and it highlighted her under eye slightly as well, which I really liked. I also did use this all over her face. Obviously I can't use those products because I am a lot darker and it would look kind of silly, so instead I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown Corrector in Light Peach first, and then as a concealer I've got my MAC Prolongwear concealer in the shade NW30, and I will set that with my Midnight Banana Powder. I'm putting my corrector on first with my finger, and I need a corrector just simply because of my dark bags. Tanya didn't actually have any, so lucky I could just put concealer on and she looked great. I'm just using a MAC 217 brush to put the concealer on with, and I'm brushing it out into my face to blend it out. I'm just setting this with my Midnight Banana Powder. As some of you may know already from watching my Daily Mix vlog, I love this stuff and I think it just works really great on tan skin. Or just brown in my case. To contour, I used Topshop's Cheek Duo Break of Day, and I only used that shade when I was using my Real Techniques contour brush, and I just took it from the top of her ear. This might actually be, yeah, not the right colour for me because I'm too dark, so instead I'm going to have to use something else. Instead I'm using, only because I'm a lot darker, Bronze Goddess Estee Lauder in the shade Deep. This you'll be able to see a lot more on me. If you could see, Tanya had a really strong contour look that day, simply because I was just building up that contour with the powder and just blending it. For blusher, I used Illamasqua's Naked Rose on Tanya, which is a lovely shade, and I used my Multitask brush by Real Techniques. To highlight, I used the Topshop highlighter in Sunbeam, again on my contour brush, just on the sides, taking that just on the top of the cheekbone. I also used this as inner corner highlights on Tanya, so we're just going to finish off the eyes now, and I've got my Real Techniques accent brush, which is a tiny little one like this, and everyone knows Tanya Burr likes an inner corner highlight, so this was a great shade for that. Going back to my accent brush, I'm just taking this shade here from my Illamasqua neutral palette, and I'm just going to run that along bottom of my eye. Just halfway, not all the way. For mascara, I use Topshop's False Lash Mascara. And I'm just going to brush that on. I didn't put false lashes on Tanya because she'd asked me not to because of her irritated eyes. And finally, for the lips that everyone has been so lovely about and has been asking me how I did that, which I'm now going to reveal to you. I actually used 2 products on her lips. First, I used Giorgio Armani's lipstick, and this is in the shade Rouge 400, and it's like that. Now this lipstick isn't actually a really harsh red. It is simply just like a sheen and a gloss, and this is what really gave a lot of the shine. I've obviously got a lot smaller lips than Tanya, so it's not going to look the same. I then used something else that had quite a bit of shine to it, but was a lot deeper and had more consistency to it, and that was Topshop's Lip Bullet in Rockerbilly. So it's basically a lipstick, but like a pen form, so really easy to carry around in your handbag. And you can see already that the colour is just so deep, but it's also very shiny, so it's just sliding straight on top. As you can see, Wayne said that I created this bee stung look to Tanya's lips, and this is how I've done it, and they are really shiny. And if you actually try it yourself, you'll feel how slippery and slidey your lips are. Obviously it looks a lot different because Tanya's lips are a lot nicer than mine. So this is the finished look. I really hope you like it. Obviously it does look a lot more different on me than it did on Tanya because I'm different skin colour and I don't have as good lips as she does. But as you can see, the lips are quite bee stung and bright and slippery and slidey. So please do give it a go yourself, try it out. I know I used a lot of products, but this is what I had and it was given to me, so I was just making use of what I had. Please comment below and let me know what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!